It wasn't about hating the person, it was about the attitude of heart. This is not going to bless us. This attitude of heart is going to cause a rift. So, anyway, the son goes and does this thing, and he goes and wastes his money. And of course, like I say, the father's demonstrated huge love already. But then beyond that, what happens is the son ends up at the end of his rope. He's spent everything. He's wasted it all. The money friends, as I call them, they've appeared when he had the money and then disappeared when he didn't have the money. And so he finds himself sitting in a pigsty. Well, for a good Jewish boy, pigs are abhorrent. They are like the lowest of the low. And so to sit in with the pigs, number one, is a pretty big deal. But then he went a step further. He's looking at the food that the pigs are eating and saying, I mean, that's just, you slipped off the dark edge of the abyss right there. He's slipped into depravity. And what happens to him at that state of depravity is what happens, I believe, to an awful lot of us in our lives. We have this kind of ding moment on the inside, and it's like life should be better. Something should be better, because on the inside of us is this imprint that God made us with, and it is good. In fact, he said we are very good. Mankind is very good. And so there's that statement on the inside of us that is shoved down in there very deep, and many times takes an awful lot of depravity for us to wake up to. But the son wakes up to it, and he looks at himself and he says, you know what? I know my dad. Why am I here? Why am I in this place? I know who my dad is. He's a really good man. I mean, he's an amazing dad, but he's just a really good man. And so, if I go back home and I, apologize and get things straight, then I'm sure he'll look after me. I'm sure. And actually, you know what? I can just go home and I'll say, Dad, I'm really sorry I screwed up, but just make me a servant. Just get me in your house, because he looks after his servants really well. He knows the heart of his father. So he knows this is a really good man. And so here he is. He gets out of the pig pen and he's walking home. And he stinks. I mean, he stinks like a pig pen. There's no mention in this verse, the verses there, that he stopped off at a hotel and had a shower or anything. There's nothing like that. And so he stinks, reeks of the pig pen, which to the Hebrew people, to the Jewish people, is just abhorrent. It's just horrible. In fact, he would have to go through 7 days of cleansing to be allowed back in the house. Okay, so now on the flip side, you've got the father who's going up on the roof every day, watching for his son. Well, without that cultural context of what actually transpired with the will and the inheritance and everything else, I thought, that's a pretty big deal that, he would go up and look for his son. He loved his son. But really what was happening was he was going on the roof because he needed to see his son before the village saw him. Because if the village saw him first, his kid was dead. And the father knew that, and the father loved the son so desperately. He's just like, and this is the way God looks at us. When we walk away from God and we're away from him, even though our pictures of him have been formed by the wrong things, he knows what formed those pictures, and he still desperately loves us. And he's so, so patient, and he's so earnestly waiting for us to return. And so he's on the roof looking, saying, I've got to get to my kid first before the village does, because if I don't, he's going to be dead. And so the father is up there on the roof, and he sees his son coming up the road, and the son's walking along practicing his speech about, Dad, I screwed up, and just make me a servant. And he's thinking, rehearsing in his head what he's going to do to get things right again. But the dad is on the roof, and he sees his son at a way, way distance, and he's just like, I got to get to him. And so he bolts down off the roof, and he's running, and he's just running as fast as he can, and he gets to his son first, and he just flings his arms around him. And he's just like, God, I love you. I'm just so glad you're home. And that's how God is with us. That's the right picture of who our God is. He's this amazing Father who just overlooks anything and everything we've ever done. In fact, he's already paid the price for it. He sent his son to go through the cost and pay the price for what we've done. And so he doesn't even look at the price anymore. It's been paid.